Good afternoon and welcome to ATN Society Watch. This is a program where we ventilate societal issues, give them aggregate attention with a view to profit solutions that will benefit humanity. Now first, the headlines. Anambra State, 3 siblings killed, bodies dumped in deep freezer. In Kano State, 5 men sentenced to death for killing alleged witch. In healthcare, protests erupt as 272 doctors exit Lokoja Teaching Hospital. And child trafficking, police boss syndicate selling children to Nigerians abroad. We're open for advert placement, news and events coverage, personality, society and political interviews, product service promotion and commercials. Remember to connect with us on all our ATN socials on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network on Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, on Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website on www.atlanticnetwork.tv. We've got a quick break, and when we get back, I will introduce my amazing guest to you. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Now, here with me in the studio to dive into this reports this morning is my amazing guest, Mr. Wilson Franklin. Is a social-political analyst. We're so glad to have you join us on the show today.
Thank you so much. Wow.
You look great.
Eh?
You look great.
This matter face.
Let's dive right into it. Leave the matter and let's dive right into it. Now, 3 siblings aged 9, 7, and 5 have been allegedly murdered by unidentified assailants in their home in Nnewi North local government area of Anambra State. The children, Chikamma Devina Ezie 9, Chizib Terem Dominica Ejezie 7, and Chimdilim David 5 were reportedly attacked while their mother, Mrs. Chikazo AJZA, a lecturer and nurse, was away for an examination. Upon her return, she found the apartment unusually open and began searching for them. Her worst fears were confirmed when she discovered their lifeless bodies stuffed inside a deep freezer. Their father, Mr. Udobi AJZA, who resides in Edo State, rushed home upon receiving the distressing news. He revealed that the children were eaten before they were attacked, as unfinished meals were found in the house. The family shares the bungalow with 2 tenants and their landlord. The bodies have now been deposited at the morgue, and the case has been reported to the Central Police Station in Inewi. However, police authorities have yet to comment on the incident. This is a rather sad one, very sad. 3 children, dead, no leads, nothing. What are your thoughts on this story?
No leads. And the story, I'm still looking at it, and when I looked at it, and the fact that the police have not been able to say anything till now. I don't really know, because number one, the mother is not around, went for exam. The father was not in town, so you won't say is the father or the mother. So clearly, they were engaged in something that you can verify. Then someone just walked into the house, attacked them. Is anybody part missing? That's another thing. Is anybody part missing? Or is there something? What could have led to this?
Right, that's a question on all our lips. What could have led
to this? Because if they were eating, these are 3 children, what could have been the problem? What could have happened? And killed them and then stuffed them in the freezer and walked away. Is the father having an issue with anybody? Is the mother having an issue with anybody? Because the whole thing is a little bit vague. Let me just put it like that, because the story is just. But then, looking at it at a larger scale, the kind of things happening in our country today is so alarming. Now, you hear this one. Now, if you look in that environment, this may not be the only children killed at that time. Could it be a kidnap case that went wrong? Could it be
a kidnap case? Why are they stuffed in
That's what I'm saying. Could it be a kidnap case that went wrong? Could it be, because even the parents have not complained that something was stolen from their house. Because if the people stole stuff, would have said okay, and they've not complained that anything is missing. They didn't complain that any of the body parts are missing. So the question is, what was the aim? What was the motive?
Now, while we try to wait for further reports, because of course this is a building story and there's going to be more information in the coming days, I want to get your thoughts as regards the idea of both parents. These children are minors. Now, of both parents not being around, there are many Nigerians that have lost custody of their children abroad simply
because of something like this.
Those children didn't even die, right? You leave your child, you go across to a store to get something, and somebody even at all just reports that, oh, this child is being left away. You lose custody, of those children. Now, when you look at that, what is your thought? The father is in Edo State. The mother had gone to write an exam, all for good conscience, as it were. What are your thoughts when you think about that?
That's why I will also say I don't know how old. This story didn't really say one is 20 or one.
They did mention 7. I think 7.
7. That's the oldest.
That's the oldest.
So, which means the parents should have at least looked for an adult that should have been around with them.
So, are we going to now ban this on paternal or parental negligence?
It's part of it, because why I said it's part of it is you're going to write an exam that you know that you're going to stay more than one day. The father is not around. At least you should have gotten an adult to just be with them, or taking those children to maybe a friend's place, a cousin's place, a sister's place, or somehow let them just stay for those 2, 3, 4 days you're going to stay, or one day you're going to stay. Now, this would have prevented this, because at this point now we don't know the motive of this attack.
All right.
We don't know why this happened. We don't know what led to it, and then here we are. So for me, as a parent, you don't leave your children just like that. There should be an adult around. Or if there's nobody, I know there's some parents that will tell you, we don't want any house help, we don't want trouble. At least that 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, you're not going to be available. take them to a cousin's place, an auntie's place, an uncle's place, your sister's place, somewhere. Maybe someone in church that you trust. Say, please let my children just stay, hang on with you guys till we come back. Or even a neighbor. There's a kind of neighbor you have.
That is where I was headed. Now, the reports did talk about the landlord being in the compound,
Yes.
talked about the neighbors being in the compound. Do you think there is a possibility that, back in the day, right, there's this thing, a child or group of children belong to the community?
That compound, there's no how they would have told me that someone would have walked in and killed 3 children and there was no shout.
While they were eating.
While they were eating. So that's not possible that those children did not shout. And you cannot tell me that that compound was completely empty. So there's just something somebody is not saying. And for the police to be silent, I feel someone powerful is involved in this matter. For the police to be silent till now.
Do you think it's possible that they are yet to say anything due to the fact that they are still, doing their investigations?
The normal Nigerian police that we know would have made arrests immediately. Because the moment the mother comes back and raises that alarm, the question is, we may not have ascertained when this thing happened. The landlord would have been arrested. Any adult in that community would have been arrested for questioning. We should have heard at least the landlord or so and so have been arrested for questioning. For now, we cannot say who, but at least they should have given us that information.
All right.
But they say no comment. That tells you something. Tells you something.
So in your opinion, there might be somebody influential.
I feel that there's someone influential involved in this that is making them not say anything. Not that I'm not saying that person influential is the person that did it. But the normal reaction of the Nigerian police, when something like this happens, the first thing is pick everybody in the compound. At least come and tell us what you know. Now, in their narration, 1 or 2 persons could have said, oh, we heard them shouting, or we thought this, or one of them would have said, at least police would have given us, okay, the neighbors were arrested, including the landlord, but they said they didn't know, or they didn't see, or that they saw this, or they saw that.
Right.
Would have heard 1 or 2 of those stories. Many would have said, no, now, but this is not enough. Then, before we now hear the part of saying, police has nothing to say now because investigation is ongoing. But none of this, just after you just said, no comment from the police till now. So that tells you something.
All right. Thank you so much. That's a rather sad one coming from Anambra State. Now, in Kano State, High Court has sentenced 5 men to death by hanging for the murder of a 67-year-old Dahare Abubakar, whom they accused of witchcraft. The convicts, Daluta Ibrahim, Abdulaziz Yahaya, Fisial Yahaya, Ibrahim Abdu, and Ayuba Abdurrahman, were found guilty of culpable homicide. Justice Osman Naba ruled that the prosecution had proven the case beyond reasonable doubt, while a 6th defendant, Nabia Ibrahim. The incident occurred on November 15, 2023. What are you first? Let me get your talk. So you're a witch.
That's what I'm trying to say.
When we were growing up, they used to say it takes a witch to know a witch.
Exactly. So it takes someone spiritual to be able to know. Because witchcraft is not something they do in the open. It's not something someone does. You can't tie anything physical. But you can experience the manipulation of this person trying to make you not become what. After they messed up the whole thing. So for me, the judgment given to them by the court. Yes. Someone, the moment they can find that someone, they are happy. They now justify the fact that they are not trying enough with the mouth they talk with. So the moment I left the arena of talking back at you and raised my hand, I invited the trouble that came for me. I may try to explain it anyhow.
All right.
The truth is that the person is not the problem is me. It doesn't matter what the person said to me, because I found out that quarrel doesn't start with what the first person did. True quarrel starts from the reaction of the second person. That's when quarrel begins.
Very well. Stay with us.
From life across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Tension gripped the Kogi State Specialist Hospital in Lokoja as doctors and medical staff staged a protest following the resignation of 272 doctors from the facility. The protesting healthcare workers decried poor working conditions, unpaid salaries, and lack of essential medical equipment, which they said had crippled service delivery at the hospital. A spokesperson for the Medical Staff Association revealed that many doctors had been leaving due to poor remuneration and excessive workload, making it nearly impossible to provide quality health care. The situation has led to a severe shortage of personnel, causing disruptions in medical services and leaving patients stranded. Protesters called on the state government to urgently intervene by improving salaries, hiring more staff, and addressing infrastructural decay at the hospital. Government officials are yet to respond to the crisis as negotiations between the hospital management and striking workers continue. Mr. Wilson, what are your thoughts on this story? 272 medical staff resign and leaves the Lokoja Hospital. What are your thoughts on it? Leaving 47.
I feel so bad because, why I say I feel so bad, because we have a government that is spending money on lifestyle instead of infrastructure.
What do you mean on lifestyle?
What I mean by lifestyle is, okay, for instance, we borrowed money as a nation,
right,
and what we did with the money was to renovate or to build a resident for our.
But when we talk about those monies that are collected, there's usually a plan for them.
Number 3, we were told that some of those monies were borrowed and they bought cars for all the legislators, the senators and all that. Number 4, now you can see the thing in the life of, but then no infrastructure.
Well, there are usually budgets for these things.
But you don't see it reflect. You don't see it. Minimum wage that was accepted to be this 70,000 have not been paid in several quarters till now. Government that have accepted have not paid till now. But none of these lawmakers have allowance even for their dogs. And those allowances, they don't fail. Wardrobe allowance No, they have not 1,000 naira. All of them runs in millions of naira.
That's why we have certain different ministries, different agencies, different departments, and everybody tenders a budget, right? And when these budgets are tendered, we were talking about the president and the lifestyle, you know, there was still a provision for budgets for
see, you cannot
health.
hold people accountable.
What I'm trying to say is the president cannot be everywhere at every time. That is why we have all of this.
I know that's where you're going to. You're going to the fact now that the president is not the reason for this.
No,
I'm coming, which is true. There should be an agency, a governor of that state, and allocations have been released.
Exactly.
Budgets have been released.
Exactly.
Why didn't they use the money for what? The truth of the matter is that you are telling me you are slaughtering how many cows every day. I know what I ate today. I didn't see any cow inside. That stops now.
So are you saying we have this problem due to accountability and governance?
Exactly. Now he said that stops now. No more. Don't worry, me and my wife will plan our budget from what we aim. No more allocation to fees. When it is traveling to Abuja, normally there's a presidential, a governor movement where you have police people, press people, aides that go with him as entourage. He looked at it and said, how much will that cost? When he looked at the cost, he said, no problem, don't worry yourself. If I'm going for anything in Abuja, I will fly. When I get there, I can take police from there. There are policemen there. I can take police from there, make an arrangement with police from there, make an arrangement for vehicle from there, and go to where I'm going to, which reduce the cost. Because
you have just 47 to cater for all of the people in that vicinity.
And
now,
47 now that is there could just be that these are 47 that don't know where else to go to.
Now, which meets the needs of all people as regards to, you know, when they had like a fuller house. You know, when you look at that, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts, I still say it and I still maintain it. The day Nigeria passes a law that no individual, no private individual can own a hospital in Nigeria, our hospitals will get better. That's number one. Then number two, the day Nigeria passes a law that if you are elected into any office or you occupy any public office, you cannot go outside Nigeria for healthcare. From the number one citizen to the last person, if we make it as a document, as a law, and sign it, our health. This is America, for instance. Every American president, their children's school within America, they don't go out of the country. You know the school they go to. When the president is sick, you don't hear that the American president flies out. He's treated in the country. So why won't the healthcare, why won't the education be good? Because the president's daughter might likely come to your school tomorrow. The president's child might likely be in the university tomorrow. So you won't want the president to come in there and then go and report back to his father that lecturers are not teaching, that the lecturers are taking bribe. As there are certain lecturers before you can pass a course. So you won't want the president, even though yes, because he's the governor's son now, you see security around the boy. But he enters class with everybody, but you just see security in school just because of the boy. The moment school is up, they pick him and he goes home. Now, with that boy in that environment, do you think that the school will not work?
Everybody was supposed to be
the school will work. Every teacher knows that the governor's son is here.
Yeah, but isn't that right? And also the government. Now, we've talked about the government part. I want us to talk about the private practice of Nigerian doctors. How do you think it affects this? And, you know, what I need to gather your thoughts why you mentioned that if there's a law that is being passed that doctors do not have private practice.
Let me ask you.
You're going to be more focused on.
Let me ask you this question. my friend own. They won't tell you directly it's my own.
Now, while I want you to hold this thought, I want to chip in a little thing that I need you to, flow with while you go on with this. In this report, they rightly said that they lacked equipment.
Yes.
Now, the reference of the doctor saying come to so person's clinic, is it because the government clinics are not well, fitted with equipment that
they are not well equipped?
They're not well equipped.
No, it's the same principle. Because
now
I will say you go there, but it's cheaper. But then, and when you even get there, the way the nurses talk to you, because it's as if they've seen so much that they don't care. They don't care. They can talk to you anyhow.
Do you think they act that way because they are frustrated with the system?
It's number one, it's part of it. Number two, there's nobody putting them on check. Now, in the private hospital, if a nurse talks to you like that, you can report. The nurse knows that if you report to the owner of the hospital, she's sacked. She knows it, so she will now, because now everybody now wants to give you the best. So when you come, you look, because they know that we are a lot of doctors. You can imagine 270 something persons living in an environment. But here, they don't care, because if you don't come here, someone will come to their private clinic. So please, if I don't know how that can be done, but if they can make governor, president, senator, you don't travel out for medical anything, you will see the way the medical institution in Nigeria will change overnight.
8 suspects, including 2 teachers, were arrested, while 5 trafficked children were rescued from different homes. Investigators revealed that some of the children was 22-year-old Somto Chukwu Oyemechi, who admitted to selling. The operation, led by CSP Ngozi Braid, uncovered that some children were sold to Nigerians in the United States and Italy. Suspects include Ibezim Chioma, supplier; Sunday Ochim, middleman; Sunday Oputu, supplier; Sunday Faith, seller; Chinaza Echelebi, caregiver; Ifekuna, 3-year-old; Somto Chukwu Oyemechi, 1-year-old; Chizu Broma Onyemechi, 3 years old, and Praise Chukudi Ibezim, 6-year-old, are now in the custody of the ministry. Assured that the children would receive medical care and undergo proper procedure. In the case of the child whose mother sold him, relatives will be given the opportunity to claim him before the ministry assumes custody. Now, child trafficking has been on the high. The thing is, if like I usually say on the show, if there is no market for something, it's not going to be a burden business. What are your thoughts on this story?
Just like you said, if there's no market for something, it's not going to be a burden business, and that's number one. And then number two, again, people are now people don't have conscience any longer. People ask, how can a mother sell her own child? What's the rationale behind it? How much is 800,000 compared to the future of that child? Compared to how that child will take care of you in old age if that child succeeds, which that child is likely to go. You are not the god of that child. Money that you're going to spend in what? You see,
do you think such, mothers are known to nurture?
That's what I'm saying.
Mothers are known
so
to love.
If that woman, and why I love it that woman is arrested, because if she can sell her own child.
I want to know your thoughts as regards. Do you think these people that wake up to sell their children, I mean, you have a child, and the process of being pregnant for when you and your wife are pregnant with your baby, all of the process, everything that happened, the stress, and a child coming forth,
everything, the joy and the child, and then
the joy that the child, of course, would bring into your life when the child came and all of that, and someone picking up this child and saying, "I'm selling this child to somebody for 800,000." Do you think this is due to the hardship we are currently experiencing because of the system? What are your thoughts when you look at it in that regard?
The truth is this, it's not the hardship that is doing this.
So why do you think they do that?
The hardship only shows who you are already. You see, I always tell people, when I hear people say, "Oh, I did it because of this," it's not true. It's what is inside that comes out when pressure is added. You cannot press an orange now and then apple juice will come out from orange. It's orange juice that will come out. Once you apply that pressure, it's what's inside that comes out. The pressure does not put anything in. It's what is inside that comes out when pressure is applied. So it's not the hardship that is causing it. The hardship is only helping us know who you are. So that lady selling the child, it simply has already showed us that this is not a mother, that she doesn't have values. There's no principle by which she lives by. Her stomach is her God. She can do anything for money. That's just what that shows us, nothing else.
Now, I really like your take on that one, but I want to know how this business is now burdened. Do you know that there was a report I did in, I think in December? After that report was carried out, now I want us to, tilt a little bit towards what is being done about it by security agencies. When these people are caught, what happens next? Right? What happens next as regards? I did a report on something similar to this in December, and someone that knows that I work in media, that works with me, that didn't know I covered that story, asked a question as regards when people are arrested for, trafficking children, as it were, what happens to them? Are they supposed to be able to come out after a few weeks? And I'm like, okay, I don't think so. They're supposed to be in custody till it's over. And the lady or the person that was telling me the info, asking me, she now said there was this incident that happened around where I live. So person took so person, and they were caught because somebody did something. And I remember I did a report of that story in December, and those people have now been let out. Do you think the way the security agencies and the law, as it were, carries this matters?
No,
if those people from that report in December are now let out and let loose, and they live around the area where she lives, because this person did not even realize that I did carry that report in December. She was just asking, kind of seeking my opinion. Why is it so easy for them to be able to come out? Now, what are your thoughts as regards what the security agencies are doing? If they're able to come out so easily, do you think that has prompted a need to be like going back to it because you know that you can easily get out?
When we're reading this particular story, there was a particular line I saw, and I said, oh, this could be why this thing leaked in the first place. When she said she discovered she sold her child for 800,000, she now discovered her relation, we sold the child for 1.5 million. So there was already grievances, and that could
take the child abroad.
Take the child abroad. So most times when these things are caught, they just flash it there. The next thing now is, who do you know now? One or two calls can be put through, and before you know it, okay, pay this money and go. Just bail yourself and go. But the truth about it is that things like this should go to court. This person should be tried, and at the end of the day, sent to prison. Let the person stay in prison for 1 year, 2 years. The person can be released as long as the child was not killed. But let the person suffer for it. The next time the person thinks of that, the person will say, I beg, I don't want to go to prison. But the prison should be with her neighbor.
Right.
And because you can't be doing this. This is wickedness. And most of these children are not sold to parents. They are sold for rituals. That's the truth. Most of this trafficking, sometimes it's not that a family looking for a child to adopt. Sometimes it's for sex trafficking. Sometimes it's for rituals. So
there's something waiting for you if you continue in this line.
You continue in this line.
Now,
it's becoming crazy. You can imagine that.
I want to know your thoughts on one other thing that this report contained. This report contained something that had to do with sending children to the UK.
That's what I'm telling you now.
To
most of this
Italy.
Most of these traffickings are for sex workers.
I want to know. I had a friend that wanted to travel abroad with her child. Now, where they go to, where the request for DNA tests being done. Do you think now this syndicate, as is where, has been able to infiltrate their way into?
In cases, some countries will do a DNA to be sure that the person you brought as father is actually the father. It's normal that if I see you now as a lady now with a little child, I should just assume it's your daughter. It's normal. Now, if I see a man with a child now, that man is a suspect first of all, first, because naturally men they feel like a man cannot be traveling with the child. It's a woman that is natural with. So now, because of that, that's how a lot of women have. There was a story I heard about a woman killing the child, opening the child's stomach, and putting cocaine inside, and then carrying the child as though the child was sleeping. But what happened? Thank God that in the flight, for how many hours flight to Italy from Nigeria, the child never woke up to eat. The child never woke up. The child slept all through. As they landed, a woman that is a hostess, air hostess, said, no, this is not normal. This child cannot sleep all through this flight. It's not possible. Ma, can we see the child? That's how they found out the child was dead. In looking at the child, they now noticed that, oh, no, not just dead. The child has been dead. So they now said no. They now saw the operation line. That's how the child, they opened, cleared the baby's womb.
This is just terrible.
Stuff it with drugs. So that tells you what's going on. It's terrible. So these people should not be, they shouldn't pity them, because this is a well thought out, this is something somebody sits down, plans, thinks about it, and look at another
premeditated.
Yes, look at another destiny, and then try to decide how that destiny turns out. No.
Thank you so much.